people, Bobby B's here. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is Mafia 3 is a masterpiece. Now, one thing you're going to hear people talk about when it comes to Mafia 3 is why is it hated? Well, it's not really hated. Some people absolutely love Mafia 3. Some people think it's okay, and then you got some people that just really hate the game. Let me first off give you the premise of what Mafia is. The Mafia video game series pretty much is about a leading character that's 9 times out of 10 a worker for the Mafia to some degree, and they are, involved in some mob stuff. So Mafia 1 was about being in this lead character called Tommy, who was pretty much like the number one gun in his crew. It was definitely heavily based on the Goodfellas concept, where it was a small crew of people who worked with so many different people. They were living that mafia life real good. It takes place in the 1920s. Mafia 2 was about the lead character, who everyone knows is Vito, who's probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular protagonist of the Mafia series. Vito literally lived in the 1950s and 40s and 50s, and he pretty much was living that mob lifestyle, very slick, very suave, very laid back. He even he was not only a gun and he would get things done, he also didn't really trust anybody in the mafia at all, which made him very, very smart. So Vito was that everyone loves Vito and everyone loves Joe. So that's basically it. Now we arrive at Mafia 3. Mafia 3 is about a lead character named Lincoln Clay, who is half black, half Italian. He has been raised by the black mafia, but they have dealings with the regular mafia in a city based in New Orleans called New Bordeaux. Lincoln comes home from Vietnam. He's been trained in special forces, and they want to get a job done because when Lincoln was there, before he went to Vietnam, they would get jobs done with Lincoln. So Lincoln ends up in a situation, basically they rob a bank, and basically it's the biggest job ever pulled off by that mafia and pulled off by the black mafia together. Is something they've been plotting on for years. But in the midst of that, the black mafia is betrayed by the regular Italian mafia. Lincoln, however, survives the situation, and instead of like trying to go for a quick revenge against the mafia, he ends up teaming up with an old buddy of his in war who went to the CIA, and they slowly but surely build their own mafia and start to take the mafia down. One of the main people included in Lincoln's mafia is Vito, the lead character of Mafia 2. And so they come together and they go to war with the Southern Italian mafia, and basically it's one of the best video game stories I've ever played. The gameplay is just a little repetitive, but the character acting, the storyline, the documentary style, everything about Mafia 3 is class act. Like it's a masterpiece. Now let's talk about the hate for Mafia 3. Dominantly, let's just be real about it. If I ever had to make a comparison to Mafia 3 and the hate that Mafia 3 gets, it would definitely be compared to Assassin's Creed 3. They said, they hated Assassin's Creed 3 because it wasn't Ezio and all that mess like that. And you got some people saying, I hate Mafia 3 because it's not real mafia. It's not this because, basically saying the guy's not fully Italian. He's half black and Italian. Let me go ahead and give you a breakdown. The reason why certain fans hated Mafia 3 was because it had a black lead. Even if he was Italian, he was a black lead. And he was in a open world Mafia for the first time. Mafia has always been an open world series, but Mafia 1 and 2's open worlds is completely boring and lifeless. The only thing you can really do in Mafia 2 is get gas. But in Mafia 3, the world is living, is thriving. You can do so many side missions, so many side quests. Like, it's really a place where there's a lot of things you can do. I wish they would have done more. In comparison to a Grand Theft Auto, to me, it's a little weaker. But in comparison to Mafia, it is the best open world Mafia game to ever exist so far. Another reason why Mafia 3 gets hated on so much is because it actually pulled off a very good Mafia story that takes place in the 60s. And it's pretty much, like I say, open world. You got your crews there, you got your rivalries there, and this is a character that's tearing apart all forms of race hatred that exists in corruption of government and in corruption of crime. Lincoln is pretty much just the Black Punisher / Black Hulk, tearing down that form of crime of the underworld of racist. And he's even gotten in the game, if you go deep in the game, he's even taken out Klan members. And Klan members that are high up in government and high up in corruption. So Mafia 3 taps into a place that I guess certain people didn't want it to tap into, and for me, it is the best Mafia game ever made. Now, the best Mafia story ever made, I don't know, because Mafia has always been able to pull off a great story. The story in 1, 2, and 3 are great, but my personal favorite is 3. So when it comes down to it, Lincoln Clay, if you can compare Lincoln to Tommy or Vito, Lincoln would beat the shit out of him. If we're talking about combat, Lincoln is the winner. If we're talking about strategy, Lincoln is the winner, because Lincoln is the better of the 3 protagonists. He literally puts together his own mafia, which is his own special forces. He takes the Haitian mafia, the Irish mafia, and a part of the Italian mafia that the Italians themselves don't like, come together and build his own mafia with what was left of the black mafia, and goes full force after the mafia that betrayed him and his family, and takes them down successfully, piece by piece. Remember, Lincoln didn't want to go for a quick revenge. He went for a slow revenge. He wanted to tear them down, all the way down. So much to the point the Italian mafia came from New York to give him, the go-ahead or the green light to have done the things he did at the very end. So when it comes down to it, Mafia 3, if anybody hating on it, 9 times out of 10, they are a racist. they're not hating on the game because they don't like it. It's a racist. I've seen some people say it's okay or it's good, it's just repetitive. That makes sense, because like I said, I even say the gameplay for me is repetitive, but that storyline, the DLC storylines and all, are phenomenal. There's no denying that the storyline is phenomenal. The gameplay is great. It's just repetitive. But that's basically me talking about Mafia 3 being a masterpiece, because it is. But it's pretty much all I got to say in regards to that. I just want to say to all of you that it is your boy Bobby Beast here. Just want to say much love, much respect. Hold it down. And